This is CBN NewsWatch.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ephraim Graham. The confirmation hearings for President Trump's Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh moved into their second day today after a first day marked by protest, heckling, and constant interruptions in the first few minutes. And Democrats saying the hearing should be stopped. But Judge Kavanaugh finally make his own statement. That brings us a story now from Washington.
Those expecting a showdown throughout Judge Kavanaugh's nomination were not disappointed Tuesday, with a steady stream of protesters interrupting often contentious opening statements from both sides of the aisle.
Mr. Chairman, I think we ought to have this loudmouth removed.
The long-awaited hearing kicked off with about 90 minutes of Democrats complaining about the availability of documents from Kavanaugh's time working for the administration of George W. Bush.
What are we trying to hide? Why are we rushing?
Democrats called for a delay until thousands of those pages are available for them to fully review.
The fact that we cannot take a few days or weeks to have a complete review of Judge Kavanaugh's record is unfair to the American people.
Republican Senator Ben Sasse told CBN News there is a record amount of information already available on Judge Kavanaugh.
Judge Kavanaugh, more papers submitted to our Judiciary Committee than the last 5 judicial nominees to the Supreme Court combined.
Dozens were arrested, and during one outburst, Senator John Cornyn called for members to take a deep breath and treat the process with respect.
I am disappointed that despite his exemplary qualifications and outstanding record, so many of our colleagues across the aisle have announced their opposition even before he was nominated.
Democrat Kamala Harris, who came down hard on Kavanaugh, saying she's deeply concerned that he's too guided by partisanship.
This nominee has devoted his entire career to a conservative Republican agenda.
Judge Kavanaugh finally got his chance late in the afternoon, making his case as a neutral, impartial judge.
I do not decide cases based on personal or policy preferences. I am not a pro-plaintiff or pro-defendant judge. I'm not a pro-prosecution or pro-defense judge. I am a pro-law judge.
And in a positive development for the razor-thin majority, Arizona Governor Doug Ducey announced former Senator Jon Kyl will fill the late Senator John McCain's seat. They plan to swear him in Wednesday. Judge Kavanaugh will be in the hot seat the rest of the week, fielding questions from both sides on topics like abortion, executive privilege, and gun control. Republicans remain hopeful they'll have him confirmed before the Supreme Court convenes October 1st. Reporting from Capitol Hill, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
Tropical storm Gordon slammed into the Gulf overnight, just barely under hurricane strength. It packed maximum sustained winds of 70 miles an hour and heavy rains. The National Hurricane Center forecast the storm would bring life-threatening hurricane conditions to parts of the region, including 3 to 5 foot storm surges. Gordon turned deadly when a tree fell on a mobile home in Pensacola and killed a child. AccuWeather's Reed Timmer tweeted live updates during the storm from Dauphin Island, Alabama.
I'm on the west side of Dauphin Island with the storm surge continuing to inundate. Big-time winds as well happening here. You can see the storm surge coming up and over the road here.
Just listen to that. The National Hurricane Center forecasts Gordon to quickly weaken as it moves inland across Mississippi, Louisiana, and into Arkansas through Thursday, though there are concerns the system could spawn tornadoes. And joining us right now with more on this story is our reporter Charlene Aaron. She's been following it for us. So take us again through what happened when Gordon made landfall.
We saw those powerful winds and storm surges. As we said, it came ashore last night, about 11:15 last night. Powerful winds, lots of power outages. Many people, more than 20,000 people have no power across several states. Lots of states of emergency still in effect right now. Thank God it was barely a hurricane, but it was still pretty powerful.
Yeah, pretty powerful. And we're talking about at least one death reported so
tragic, so tragic. Pensacola, Florida, a little child whose mobile home was hit by a falling tree and was killed. No more reported injuries or deaths, thank God, but that's tragic.
Now, we know we're in the heart of hurricane season. Are there other storms out there?
Forecasters are looking at Hurricane Florence right now, churning in the Atlantic, and several others are coming behind that. So we're definitely looking down the road for a couple more.
Yeah, we'll be busy following that. Thank you so much, Charlene Aaron. Well, let's take a look right now at some of the other headlines we are following for you today inside the CBN newsroom. Arizona's governor announced former Senator Jon Kyl will fill the U.S. Senate seat left open following the death of Senator John McCain. The Republican retired from the Senate in 2012 and is right now shepherding President Trump's nomination of Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court. Kyl's appointment will make it possible for him to vote for the nomination. Kyl says he's only committed to hold the seat until the end of the year. A tell-all book published by a veteran Washington Post journalist is upsetting the White House. In his new book, Fear, Trump in the White House, journalist Bob Woodward says the president's legal team was so worried about the president sitting down with special counsel Robert Mueller, they held a mock interview session. The book claims the president, quote, made something up during the fake interview and lashed out at his team, leading his attorneys to urge him not to testify out of fear of perjury. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders dismissed the book, saying it's, quote, nothing more than fabricated stories told to make the president look bad. The book is expected to be released next week. Executives from Facebook, Twitter, and Google are set to appear before the Senate Intelligence Committee today. They're likely to face questions about political content, antitrust concerns, and consumer privacy. Lawmakers from both sides want the tech giants to explain how they're protecting the 2018 midterm election process from interference from Russia. For more on these stories and others throughout the day, you can always visit cbnnews.com. It was a popular book, and now it's going to the big screen. The Trump Prophecy is the story of a firefighter who says God told him President Donald Trump would become president years before he even announced he would run. It is now a movie, but as Wendy Griffith shows us, it hasn't been without controversy.
My job as a fireman was to react calmly. But what I saw last night scared me so much.
The Trump Prophecy movie is the story of former firefighter Mark Taylor, who says he received a special message from God in 2011 that then businessman Donald Trump was headed for the White House. Producer Rick Eldridge says he wasn't sure he wanted to do the film.
I knew it was going to be controversial. I knew it was not going to be an easy movie to make. But I also knew that we had a nation that really needed to hear some messages of God's intervention in our country.
The movie relives the night Mark Taylor received what he calls the Commander-in-Chief prophecy.
I didn't know a lot about Donald Trump. I just knew he was a very powerful businessman, built this empire. So I'm listening to him on an interview, and all of a sudden I just heard the voice of the Lord say, "You're hearing the voice of a president."
Mark went into his office, got out a pen and paper, and started to write what he says the Holy Spirit told him.
He was saying that basically that America was going to prosper like never before. Israel and America, the ties between the two countries would be stronger than ever before. The dollar would be the strongest it was ever been. It was very detailed as far as what God was showing me.
Chris Nelson, an actor and film professor at Liberty University, played the part of Taylor.
People hear the title and they think it's all about Trump. It's really about a common man hearing from the Lord and being given wisdom and advice from, fellow believers to pray about that.
One of those believers was Mary Colbert, wife of Dr. Don Colbert, who was treating Mark for an illness. After hearing Mark's prophecy, she started a nationwide prayer movement for the presidential election, a movement that became a key part of the movie.
There's a mandate for us as believers to pray for those in authority over us. And so that's a deeper message that we really emphasize in the movie.
Action! The film was made with the help of Liberty University film students, despite the fact that thousands of students signed a petition saying they didn't want the movie made. Facebook also was not a fan and temporarily blocked all promotional ads, claiming the movie was too political. But Nelson says most people were just reacting to the T word.
They get squirmy when they hear the words Trump and God together, because they think that somehow it's lessening, I think, who God is by even mentioning his name with Trump. And I think, well, goodness, aren't we all glad that that's not how we feel about ourselves?
Despite the controversy, Eldridge believes this movie needed to be made.
We have such a divided nation right now, so I hope this film in some way can be maybe a point toward healing.
Wendy Griffith, CBN News.
2011.
And the movie is in theaters for 2 nights only, October 2nd and 4th. You can find out more information and where to buy tickets at cbnnews.com. Coming up, the Me2 movement against sexual harassment has spread throughout Hollywood, the business world, and Washington, and even the church. We have an interview with the story of a survivor of sexual abuse who's working now to help others. We're going to bring you that right after this. The Me2 movement set off seismic shockwaves across Hollywood, Wall Street, and Washington. Now the issue is shaking the church as well. Our John Jessup talked to a sexual abuse survivor who's on a mission to help victims see themselves in a different light.
Kim and Monty Weatherall enjoy spending time together, whether it's in church or working out at the gym. She's helped him tackle weight loss.
80 pounds, yes. I walked in there well over 300 and upwards of 320 pounds.
And also in dealing with a painful past.
When I got home and he told me what his plan was, it hit me like a ton of bricks.
I made a decision to end my life.
Monty resisted getting help because as a pastor, he's used to giving advice.
Most people in his life know Pastor Monty as a young, dynamic preacher, always armed with an encouraging word. What they didn't know was for years, he wore many masks, projecting different personas to hide a painful secret.
From 4 to 7 years old, I was abused over those 3 years by 2 male relatives.
He never told anyone about the abuse, fearing retribution. Instead, Monty hid the pain, pretending to be someone else.
For the rest of my life, I began to play these different characters because I was so uncomfortable with being myself.
It worked until the only character left was the man in the mirror.
I didn't realize that on some level I was blaming myself, but I had to give myself permission to realize that it wasn't my fault. That suicidal spirit that was on me, it just broke. But I knew that the journey wasn't over.
The road to recovery started on the outside with a goal of getting in shape to lay a foundation for his emotional healing.
I think psychologically, as I am being, tortured as a child by the abusers, I try to really just hide all of that. Being overweight, out of shape, I made a decision that a part of taking my life back, I had to take my body back.
Monty found a counselor and worked through difficult sessions, recalling those early childhood memories. And just like female victims, it took decades into adulthood to begin the process.
The majority of women that I see who are violated as a child really aren't ready to start the healing process till they're at least 30.
Sexual violence has got to go.
In the hashtag #MeToo era, sexual abuse scandals have now hit evangelical circles with its own social media campaign, #Church2.
I regretfully had a sexual incident with a female high school senior in the church.
Challenging as it may be, Wheeler believes these revelations can help churches do better to address sexual abuse and reach victims.
What we are seeing is the community as a whole starting to at least willing to talk about this conversation. We're seeing that churches are now, I think the Me2 movement is helping some pastors realize that, oh my gosh, we do have a lot of survivors in our churches, and what are we doing and what can we do to help them heal?
That question is what motivates Monty Weatherall.
I know the shame, I know the courage that it took for those women and those men that are coming out to say this happened to me.
With so much interest in justice reform and redemption stories, he's concerned about neglecting the victim.
I'm glad that legislation is happening. I'm glad when authentic redemption has taken place. That's great, but we can't forget those boys, those girls, those men, those women that have been abused. And so I know why the Holy Spirit led me to write this book, for that reason.
That book, Taking My Life Back, documents how Monty went from suicidal thoughts
we are healed right now
to thriving and even forgiving his abusers.
For me, it started with a decision. I had to make a decision to forgive those that sexually abused me. And my abusers, they didn't know who I was going to become. They didn't know I would become a pastor that would help thousands. They didn't know I would even witness to them and lead them to Christ and baptize one of them.
For Kim, she says their marriage is stronger and they're happier than ever.
Sometimes I look at him and I don't even think it's the same person I married. He was wonderful then, but he's wonderful and healthy and whole now.
John Jessup, CBN News.
Jesus. Amen.
Reporting in Swansea, Illinois.
Still ahead, it is a historic landmark, wonder of nature, and a popular tourist destination. But the Dead Sea is also in danger of drying up. So now there's a plan to save it. We're going to bring you the story coming up right here on CBN NewsWatch right after this. The Dead Sea is a natural wonder and a popular tourist destination, and it's in danger of drying up. But as CBN Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell shows us, there's a bold and innovative plan to save this historic body of water.
Sunrise over the Dead Sea, a soothing atmosphere, biblical landmark, and mineral treasure. It sits on the Great Rift Valley between Israel and Jordan. Fed by fresh water from the Jordan River and mineral springs, it's one of the saltiest lakes in the world. So salty, no fish can survive in it. Nominated as one of the 7 wonders of the world, the water, mud, and atmosphere have healing properties. But all this could disappear. The Dead Sea behind me is dropping 5 to 8 feet a year. That means the lowest place on Earth is getting even lower.
The reason is very, very simple. On one hand, there is all the time evaporation of water and the surface is very large. On the other hand, good water from the Upper Jordan were taken for irrigation, to develop agriculture, to develop food for the people, and they stopped reaching the Dead Sea. So the balance has changed.
Hebrew University professor Avner Adin says there's only one way to restore the sea.
What could save the Dead Sea is actually pouring water into the Dead Sea.
Adin told CBN News a combination of solutions is the only way to help.
One way, which is the natural one, meaning let the rivers flow into it. Don't take the water from the Jordan, from the other rivers. Let it come back to its natural way. The other way is artificial, meaning making the Red to Dead Sea project come true.
Israel and Jordan signed the Red Dead Agreement to make a 140-mile canal from the Red Sea to the Dead Sea. The billion-dollar project begins with a desalination plant to provide much-needed water and power to Jordan, then would drop the remainder of the water into the Dead Sea.
Another way that in parallel could be done would be to take water from the Mediterranean and desalinate this water and give this water for drinking and for agriculture, instead of taking the water from the Lake of Galilee and from the streams.
But Adin said it's not easy to get governments invested in saving it. That's why activists Jacob Ben Zaken and Noam Bedin are sounding the alarm.
I want to see the Dead Sea restored.
Ben Zaken from a nearby kibbutz gives the only boat ride available on the Dead Sea.
The purpose is to bring awareness to the Dead Sea, to the beauty, to everything that's going on, including the disappearing of the Dead Sea and the way to save it.
And it's working. Over a year ago, photojournalist Bedin took the boat tour.
And that touched me as an Israeli to speak up for this enchanted, prehistorical, biblical place, to stand up for it.
These salty pillars or chimneys may be stunning, but their appearance signals trouble. Bedin's photos show the drop in the water level in just 1 year.
I've been documenting this one-of-a-kind place like never before, going on this boat right over a period of time and documenting the beauty, the magic of this place with the purpose to educate the next generation of this one-of-a-kind place, but also showing the dramatic changes that this place has been taking.
The drop has also caused huge sinkholes to open up along the shore, forcing beaches to close and a nearby road to collapse. The Dead Sea is a favorite tourist destination. It's so salty you can't sink, only float. But there's much more. In the Bible, a young David hid in the nearby caves of En-Gedi. The Dead Sea Scrolls were found in the Qumran caves, giving us the oldest manuscripts of the Bible. And the Dead Sea is actually giving life. The waters and air at the Dead Sea have special healing properties for skin and other ailments. And mineral mining yields potash, a key element for fertilizer used in agriculture to feed the world.
So it's a very special diamond that we should keep it.
Biblical prophets also said that the Dead Sea would go through a change when the Messiah returns. Ezekiel prophesied that one day the waters of the Great Salt Sea would be healed and teeming with fish. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, the Dead Sea.
Wonderful to see a plan working. Stay with us. There's much more CBN NewsWatch coming up, and it's coming up right after this. Time now for your Wednesday's Word, and today's word is peace. Know this, in the middle of the storms of life, God will give you a peace that defies all understanding. You know, that word alone should give you peace. And with that word, I strongly encourage you to make this a wonderful Wednesday. Know that you can surpass any storm that you face in the peace of God. Well, that is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. We thank you so much for watching. Remember that you can always find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. And we would love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that by emailing newswatch@cbn.com. You can always, of course, reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Remember, while this show concludes right now, the news continues 24/7 at cbnnews.com. We're updating it throughout the day and night. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make this a wonderful Wednesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow.